So this time I've saved. And this time... surprise attack! Okay. So surprise attack that doesn't work. Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. So today the Quake II RTX remaster has come out. It's available on Steam. All you need to do is find the Steam page, I'll link it down below, click play game and choose either the demo version, or if you own the actual game, select where it's installed and it will transfer the files over so you can play the whole game. This implements global illumination, reflections and shadowing in ray tracing. It was originally a project someone had done, but I think nVidia contacted them and brought it together in order to make it more official. It's also got the Quake II XP mod on it as well, which has high resolution textures and models, so it should look better overall in terms of textures and lighting, and pretty much every way possible it looks better. And I'm going to be running it on my RTX 2080 at 4K, so I'm imagining it's going to be a pretty low frame rate. I've read that the 2080 Ti will run it at 92 frames at 1080p, so I'm running it at 4K, so I expect it to tank quite hard, especially in certain areas. I have run this before it became official, and that's the one that I believe didn't have Quake II XP on it, so this one's possibly going to be slightly harder to play. So anyway, I'll have the frame rate up in the corner, top right corner hopefully, and yeah, that's enough talk. Let's dive right into medium. So yeah, as I thought, the frame rate is like abysmal. It's in the teens at the moment, but you can see that like there's real-time reflections on the gun here, and it's not screen space, so you can see everything around it, which just looks so cool. I mean, technically, I think you could see an enemy sneak up behind you. You can also see the reflection in the window here. You can also see that the character now has their own model. I think that's thanks to Quake II XP. And that's because that had to be modded in, because in the original Quake II there was no model of the character. So in Quake II RTX, before they made it official, you would just see a gun floating in the air, but now you see a proper character being reflected, which is really, really cool. Now in the original Quake II there was no Muzzle Flash on the weapon, so let's test that, see if there is. Okay, so there's still technically no Muzzle Flash coming off of it, but the lighting being affected. You can see the shadowing there. Oh. So you see the shadows there, just very, very nice, very soft, very realistic. God, the mouse is really lagging up. Not sure what's going on there. The mouse doesn't feel quite right in the way it's turning. Possibly because it's just such a ridiculously low frame rate. Okay, so running in 4K with ray tracing on is absolutely tanking the frame rate. So usually I would just suffer through it, but because I want to make a video to kind of show this off, I've turned the internal resolution down to 50%, so it's basically 1080p, and it's now running around about 50 to 60 frames a second. So yeah, it's pretty heavy. I think even on the 2080 Ti running this in 4K would be pretty harsh on it. Let's continue on and let's see what we can see. Let's see if we can get the flare gun out. So you can see the shadows being produced are just so... It's just the sort of thing you just can't see in raster. You can't get that effect because... hold on. Just got to deal with this guy. Right. So... you have limited flares here. So if you fire a flare there, you've got the shadowing there. Then if you fire one there, you can see it diminishes the shadow that side and produces another one that side. I just don't think you can get that in raster. Just those sort of multiple shadows and stuff like that. So I think for most games these days with high fidelity, because the games are already so demanding, you can't really have all three elements of ray tracing running. I could be wrong on this, but I think they have to choose between either having reflections, shadows, or global illumination. They can't have all three. So I think like Battlefield 5 focuses on reflections. Boom! Shadow, the Tomb Raider focuses more on the shadowing sort of side of things, and Metro Exodus focuses on global illumination. Whereas I think this has all three running at the same time. There's an interesting effect you can see there with the gun. It's sort of blurring. I don't know if that's some sort of motion blur or some sort of artifact of the denoiser or something. That's interesting. That's interesting. Don't know what that's about entirely. But I've got the shotgun now, so let's carry on. We're still in the sort of 60 FPS range, 65 FPS. So I'll try and keep an eye on it as things get a bit more boom hairy. Look at that. Oh, the shadowing, even on that. Right. Of course means you've got much more natural looking sort of shading everywhere, so without the foibles of ambient occlusion. And I think there's a way to make it... Oh boy. So I think there's a way to make everything reflective. F3, no. F2, no. F1, no. F4, no. F5, nope. F6. Nope. F7 is just going to quick... Whoa, hello. So F7's done something there. What's that? So I think F7 just kind of removes textures on everything. As far as I can see. F8 removes the denoiser. Ah. So I think this is showing like all the limited rays that are coming into the screen right now, and it's not using the AI denoiser to sort of make the image complete. Let's see what effect that actually has on the frame rate. So 69 there, and then I turn it on, and we're right down to 59. So that's a good... So the denoiser itself takes a good 10 FPS to actually denoise that image. Wow. Wow. So let's do some maths here. Get a calculator. So we've got 69 frames a second. This is 1000 milliseconds divided by 69. That's 14.4 milliseconds a frame. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And then 14.4, and then you've got 59. 1000 divided by 59. So that's about 2.5 milliseconds per frame added, the denoiser. I think, if my maths isn't totally rubbish. So that's interesting. Ah, here we go. Actually, if you press F11, it tells you the milliseconds that things are being taken here. Although it says 0.0 milliseconds for frame time, so that's not right. Instance geometry, blah blah blah. Direct lighting. Indirect lighting. So that provides some insight into what's going on there. And F12 does screenshots. So here's the perfectly reflective water. Oh wow. That's all perspective correct, and everything's being reflected, even stuff that's off camera. So there's no screen space rubbish going on there where things just disappear off the reflections. Just looks so good. Oh, there we go. There it is, the water caustics. Oh wow. God, that looks so good. so reflective. It's so good. That's really cool. Just the reflections. There's nothing weird about them. They just look right. Oh my god! Still one alive. Come on. Alright. The lighting here, that sort of blending of the lighting and like the colouring of the shadows there, you've got sort of the red sort of blending into the shadow and the blue and the red sort of blending together. And up here you've got the reds and the greens and the blues all mixing into that reflection up there. It's just so nice looking, it's just so good. Kinda makes me want to upgrade my graphics card just so I can play this at full 4K, but I think even the top end cards would get to like 40 FPS max, or like 30 FPS max, just because there is so much going on. Like I said, I don't think there's any other game that actually runs global illumination, shadowing and reflections in ray tracing all at the same time. Except like benchmarks, I guess. Whoa! So just out of interest, I am going to pump this back up to 100% res scale and see what the frame rate's like here. It's 22 frames a second down here at full 4K. And the mouse is really jerky and odd at this frame rate. I'm not sure what it's like to look at, but it doesn't feel good to play. But it does look... oh my god. It does look pretty amazing. And very, very sharp. So what was the button for the denoiser? F11 was it? No, that was that. F8. There we go, denoiser. So at 4K, the denoiser on in this area is 28 frames, or off is 28 frames, and on takes us down to 21 frames. So it's quite an impact, just the denoiser. And F7 I think just disables all textures on everything, so you can see the pure lighting on everything. It's heavy duty. So denoiser, textures, global illumination, high, God rays, yes, bloom, caustic profile, high quality, pause mode, projection, perspective. What happens when I change that to cylindrical? Oh! Okay, so it's kind of a weird fisheye. Ooh, bloody hell. Okay, so that's what that does. Wouldn't recommend turning that on. So we turn global illumination off. Gives about 10 frames, but you can see just how much flatter everything looks. Like, wow, that's certainly lost a lot of depth. Seems to be global illumination that is the that's the main killer here of frame rate. So we put it to medium. Go back. Still pretty heavy. So let's pump it all the way up to high. Wow. Let's switch RTX off, flick it over to OpenGL. Ugh, wow. Wow. So this is the original. This is the original game with, looks like the original assets as well. So all the Quake II XP stuff is off. We're locked at 98 frames a second, because of course we are, which is the refresh rate of my monitor, and I've got vertical sync and G-Sync on, so it's not going to go above that. So that's locked at 98, and wow, just the difference is, that's crazy. Obviously there's a visual disparity with the textures. They're all much low res compared to Quake II XP. As you can see, there's just no reflections in the water. The shadowing is very static and basic. And then you go back and you get a video and you flick it over to RTX. Everything reloads and boom. Wow. The reflections in the water, the shadowing there, the lighting, the textures. Wow. And we're back down to 22 frames a second. Wow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn it back down to 50% resolution scale, because otherwise it's just going to be horrible to watch. And I've got hay fever, so I'll maybe sniffing a bit. Right. Let's do this. Oh boy. Licky things, and I've got this bruiser guy here. Oh my god. Whoop. Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh, he's up there. Sneaky. Right. Some armor shards. Open elsewhere. Blue key. See, look at that. The shadowing off that explosion. That was amazing. Oh, that shadow as he ran around the corner. That's just beautiful. Even the shadows are like perfectly reflected as well on the ground there. Whoa. Okay, so I died there. Probably because I keep goofing around looking at reflections. I'm gonna keep dying. Back here again. Whoa! Oh my god, it's firing grenades! Okay. So this time I've saved. And this time... surprise attack! Okay. So surprise attack that doesn't work. Maybe a more long-range attack. Oh my god! Strafe. He wasn't so bad. Let's have a look here. Oh. Right. That was the blue key, I believe. Let's go back. Through here. Whoa. Take that, buddy. Yeah! I think we need SV cheats. 1. Give all. Oh, here we go. Now we have it all. So look how reflective that shotgun is. Those are some shiny barrels. There's the chain gun. Again, shiny barrels. What's that? Grenades. Oop. Oh, the lighting from that is brilliant. Alright, so. What on earth is this? But also, how amazingly reflective is that? Whoa! Oh, it's the BFG. Of course it is. What else would it be? Right. And this is railgun? Yep. Wow, it all looks so different. Right. Of course, all the weapons have been majorly updated for Quake 2, from the Quake 2 XP mod. So everything looks mega shiny and big, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can still see there's some like artifacts in the lighting. I think that's where the denoiser isn't quite capturing it all. You can sort of see as the light faded out there from the railgun. And this sort of area here, you can still sort of see the noise. So I think over time, as the denoiser gets better and graphics cards are able to handle more rays, that sort of stuff will be filtered out. It also could be an artifact of the fact I'm running it at 50% resolution, because I think the amount of rays being projected out is based on the resolution you're at. So let's pump it up to 100 again, resolution scale, and we'll see if that noise goes away. And yep. So it's still sort of there, but it's less pronounced. Now either that's because the noise is smaller now because of the high resolution, so it's less noticeable, or because of the increased amount of rays, or some combination of both. But yeah, that's definitely something that will be hopefully sorted out over time as the hardware gets better and the technology matures. So back to 1080 so I can actually play it. I just love how shiny the guns are. It's like somebody's gone over them with some mega polish and just really, you know, polished them right up. Yeah. What the hell? Why can't I aim? There we go. Oh, I don't remember these things. Jesus. Right. Let's have a goof about with the flare gun. Let's look at that. Shadow around the corner there. Look at that. That just looks so good. See, once they get past the visual artifacting there, you can see around there and stuff. Once they get past that, that's when things will look really good. And look at the whole hallway being reflected there, like up here. Look at that. That's so cool. Okay, so he comes running along, and we boom! Haha! Oh! Oh boy, this is so good. Right. Jib him just to be safe. Okay, so you go up. So you go up here. Oh. Okay. So how did that happen? That's not fair. I died on the ladder. Let's get the flare gun out. Let's see, look at the shadows on that. That's so good. So, let's find something to BFG. This guy will do. Good fun. Yeah, that was Quake 2 RTX. Go and get it on Steam now. And play with the full game or the demo, depending on what you've got. And yeah, it's still running pretty smoothly at 70 frames here. So I definitely recommend cranking it up to whatever resolution your monitor is at and then adjusting the internal resolution as necessary, or the screen scale as necessary. If it's running at 4K or something like that, it's going to really tank your frame rate. It's a very good indicator of what games can possibly look like when they have all three things running for ray tracing, global illumination, reflections and shadowing all running at once. It's just very natural looking. It feels like you're just running around a small model version of Quake 2 in real life rather than playing Quake 2, if that makes any sense. But yeah, download it, have a play around with it, see how your card performs. I do have a GTX 1080 and I'm tempted to try and run it on that because RTX will run on Pascal series now. But probably it'll run at about 5 frames a second or something, but I may get a video of that. So if you like this video, please give it a like and a subscribe. I'm always making tech videos and stuff to do with computer games and projects. Please join up and I'll see you in the next one.